So, very good noon. We will wait for 1 to 2 minutes, then we will start our session. Yeah. So we should start. So yesterday we will discuss about the module 2, that means the solid and the liquid dielectrics. Okay, so inside this module 2 we have discussed yesterday the insulation resistance, the conductivity and the losses in the liquid dielectrics. So we are choosing the transformer oil having a as a liquid dielectrics, good liquid dielectrics. Okay, so in the previous lecture, we will discuss the insulation resistance offered by the dielectrics, different parameters that will be associated with the different dielectric. Okay, and we will also discuss the dielectric power losses in the insulating material. Okay, what are the different current profile? Depending upon the different current profile, what will be my dielectric power losses that will be involved in the insulating materials? That thing we will discussed yesterday. We will also discuss the diagram for the loss tangent curve for the transformer oil having the different ppm moisture content with a varying temperature of a 50 hertz. So that particular graph we will discuss. Okay, we will also discuss the graph related to the loss tangent of the transformer oil measured by increasing the values of the voltages, okay, or the increasing the values of field intensity for with a different constant temperature value and for the different moisture content in the transformer oil. Okay, we will also discuss the diagram, or also we will also discuss the graph related to the variation of a measured value of a tan lambda and then epsilon r, which will be called as an absolute relative permeability with a certain temperature of a synthetic insulating liquid clofen, okay, at a certain frequency of a 50 hertz within constant AC voltages. Okay, so what will be the behavior of the graph? So that thing we will also will discuss. So in the previous lecture yesterday, we will discuss the three things. One is a specific volume, the surface resistance offered by the dielectrics. The second one is the dielectric power losses in the insulating material. And the third one is a variation of the dielectric losses in the insulating oil with an increasing the moisture content and the voltage applications. Okay, so that thing we will discuss in the previous lecture, right? So today we will discuss the new topic. The new topic is what? The new topic is the partial breakdown phenomena. Okay, that means PD, that is partial discharge phenomena. Okay, partial breakdown phenomena in the liquid dielectrics, right? So, in this particular lecture, we will discuss the partial breakdown of the dielectrics and the internal partial breakdown in a solids and as well as the liquids, right? So now we will share my screen so that you will able to see what will be going on, right? So now I have to share my screen. Okay, yes. Yes. So I think is my screen is visible. Yes. Yes. So today we will discuss about the two things. If the time permit, we will discuss the two things. Okay. So today we will discuss about the partial. Uh, we will discuss about the partial breakdown phenomena in the dielectrics, right? So what will be the today's lecture topic? The lecture topic will be the partial breakdown in the dielectrics. This is the first one, and the second one is my the internal partial discharge for both the solid and the liquid dielectrics, right? So these two things we will discuss today. If the time permit, we will discuss this thing. So first we have to discuss the partial breakdown in the dielectrics, right? So in that particular scenario, first we have to discuss what the partial breakdown in the dielectrics that will be taken into consideration. Okay, so the partial breakdown that will be defined by the PB, right? So the partial breakdown are localized electrical breakdown within a insulating system, insulation system. So if we considering one insulating system, so partial breakdown are the localized electrical breakdown. Okay, so whenever some we are considering any insulating system, okay, any such kind of insulating system, so in the insulating system the partial breakdown process will be taken into consideration. So the partial breakdown are the localized breakdown. Okay, so the partial breakdown is actually a localized breakdown. Partial breakdown is actually the localized breakdown within a insulating system, right? And that particular partial breakdown, okay, that will be restricted only to the certain part of the dielectrics. Okay, and this particular partial breakdown, it will be restrict its operation, okay, only the certain part of the dielectrics, not the whole part. Suppose we are considering the dielectrics having a cross sectional area of a, okay, having a cross sectional area of a. So this partial breakdown will be occurred having a distance of a d. If we will considering this particular dielectrics having a distance of a length is d, and the cross sectional area is actually a, the total cross sectional area is a. So the partial breakdown that will restrict only the certain part of the dielectrics, not the full part. Okay, so suppose a partial breakdown will be takes place in this particular part only, right? So partial breakdown will be taken into consideration only this part, supposed to be the a by 2. Okay, so this particular part, the partial breakdown process will be restricted. So here that's why it will be written, it will be restricted only to the certain part of the dielectrics. Okay, in the other words, we can also say the partial breakdown are the discharge which do not breach the electrodes. Okay, so if I considering the electrodes, the partial breakdown is actually the process of the discharging which do not breach any such kind of electrodes. Okay, so partial breakdown may occur in both the dielectrics. So in all the dielectrics like gaseous dielectrics, liquid dielectrics, solid dielectric, or any combination of the insulating system at extremely non-uniform field located above the particular field intensity, right? So if we will considering the field intensity is E, so above the field intensity, the partial breakdown process will be occurred either in the gaseous or in the liquid or in the solid or having any combination of the insulating system at a extremely non-uniform field. Okay, extremely non-uniform field location above the electric field intensity. Okay, so the field intensity above which the partial breakdown may occur depends upon some physical condition of the dielectrics and its property. Okay, so the partial breakdown will be occurred when the there will be above the particular field intensity. Okay, so the field intensity above which the partial breakdown is occurred, that will depends upon some physical quantity or the some physical condition of the dielectrics. So what will be the condition of the dielectrics? Okay, depending upon that, my partial breakdown will be occurred. Okay, and also the properties of the dielectrics. Okay, so these are the two major things we have to take into consideration when we have to consider the partial breakdown process. One is the what will be the physical condition of the dielectrics, okay, and the second one is the what will be the property of the dielectrics. So the two thing is need to understand, need to check before considering the partial breakdown. Okay, so you can keep remind these things. The partial breakdown that will occur only when the dielectrics, okay, before partial breakdown process we need to check the two things. One is the physical condition of the dielectrics, the physical condition of the dielectrics, and the second one is the properties properties of the dielectrics. Okay, so if we will satisfying these two conditions, then only the partial breakdown will be occurred. Okay, so these are the two actual conditions. So we can say the term the partial breakdown includes a group of the local breakdown phenomena. Okay, so in a particular insulation system there must have a n number of partial breakdown. Okay, so the term partial breakdown that will that will includes a group of local breakdown that will be occurred inside the insulation system, right? Supposed to be the corona breakdown in the gaseous dielectrics, internal breakdown at a voids or the cavities within the liquids and the solid dielectric, and the surface discharge also known as a tracking, which appeared on the boundary surface of some solid and the liquid dielectric with air or any other gaseous medium. So these are the different type of breakdown process will be taken into consideration in a insulated system. So the group of we can say that the group of local breakdown phenomena that will be taken into consideration for the partial breakdown process. Okay, so what are the different partial breakdowns? Supposed to be the corona breakdown that will be occurred in the gaseous dielectrics, right? Internal breakdown that will be occurred in the voids or the cavities within a liquid and the solid dielectrics, right? And also the surface discharge is also be known as a tracking. Okay, so that's particular discharge that will be appeared on the boundary surface of some solid and the liquid dielectric having a air, okay, having a contact of air or any other gaseous medium. Okay, so these are the different kind of partial breakdown that will occur inside the insulation system. So this group of we can say that the group of breakdown process that will be taken into consideration as a whole partial breakdown process, right? Okay, so we can say that the corona discharge that will be taken into consideration for the gaseous dielectrics. Okay, so we can say that the corona or the partial breakdown in the transmission line in the atmospheric air causes the power losses, as we will already discuss in the previous lecture that the dielectric power losses in the gaseous dielectrics, right? So the corona is a one gaseous corona is actually one kind of partial breakdown will be occurred in the transmission line having an atmospheric air, causes the different power losses which is significant with a bad weather condition. So whenever the rainfall will be the rainfall will be occurred, then what happen? So there may happen in the transmission line the corona discharge will be taken into consideration. Okay, so the corona discharge is actually nothing but a partial breakdown which will be taken into consideration in the transmission line, right? Okay, it's taken into consideration having an atmospheric air that will causes the power losses which will be significantly we will look after when the some bad weather condition will be taken into consideration. Beside, it will also causes the audible noise. Suppose in some of the areas where we can install the communication tower. Okay, so the communication tower having a electromagnetic voice, electromagnetic sounds that will occur. So due to this particular sounds, okay, the corona effect is also been occurred in the transmission line. Okay, so that is why it is written. It's also causes due to the audible noise, electromagnetic interference (EMI) due to the communication tower. okay, and the generation of the ozones. Okay, so we have a different kind of layer in the atmosphere. Okay, ozonosphere, stratosphere, troposphere. So due to this several condition, the corona effect will be taken into consideration in the transmission line. The first of one, due to the bad weather condition, if the rain will be taken into consideration. The second one is what, due to the audible noise. The third one is electromagnetic interferences due to the communication tower, and as fourth one is the generation of ozone. Due to this particular four causes, this corona partial breakdown process will be taken into consideration in a transmission line. Right. So we can also say that the partial breakdown in the gas insulating system, which will be also be known as a GIS, okay, which will be also this particular corona discharge, the corona discharge that will be also been takes place in a GIS system. That means the gas insulated system. So the partial breakdown in a gas insulated system and the liquid dielectric causes above the effects, and also that will degenerate the enclosures of a gases or the oils. Okay, so due to this particular effect, the damage will causes that can be said to that can be said to be reversible in some extent. However, in case of an internal breakdown taking place within a solid dielectric, the damage is irreversible. Okay, so every breakdown even causes due to the energy impact of the high energy electrons or the accelerated ions. Okay, that will inflicting the electrical and the chemical transformation. Right. So the actual deterioration is however depends upon the material and the surrounding conditions, but with the time it may lead at a permanent damage of the dielectrics. Okay, so due to this particular different kind of partial breakdown effect, it may happen this will be the permanent damage of a particular dielectrics. Hence the significance of the partial breakdown in the solid dielectric is of a great importance and will be described in the details, okay, in the latter part. Okay, so due to this particular this particular discharge, it may happen that there will be the permanent damage of the dielectrics. Okay, so we can considering the significance of the partial breakdown in the solid dielectric and as well as the liquid dielectrics having a greater importance. Okay, so having a greater importance. Okay, I think someone is coming. Okay, so having a greater importance, so we can considering the internal partial breakdown, right? So we have to take it into consideration as a internal partial breakdown. So already we will told you that the partial breakdown in the dielectrics and the internal partial breakdown in the solid dielectric. So the second one is my internal partial breakdown. Okay, so how the internal partial breakdown will be taken into consideration, right? Internal partial breakdown that will be taken into consideration. Okay, so now uh, we need to check. Okay, now the internal partial breakdown. What is actually the meaning of this particular internal partial breakdown is? Okay, so the partial breakdown in the solid dielectrics may takes place as the so-called weak points. Okay, so the partial breakdown will be considered in a solid dielectrics. These weak points may be, so in the whenever we have to choose the weak points, then only the internal partial breakdown. So if in a dielectrics having a very weak point, from there internal partial breakdown will be taken into consideration. So this weak point is either the voids, okay, or the cavities or the cut sections, okay, that will be taken into consideration for the dielectrics as shown in this particular figure. Here we are selecting a cable. So if this one is a one cables, okay, having a three layers, Okay, so this will be the cross sectional view of the cables. Okay, so supposed to be, this is your cables. If we will consider this will be cable, so this will be the cross sectional view. Okay, this will be the cross sectional view of the cross sectional view of the cables. Okay, so this will be the cross sectional view. So in this, so here it will be written a cable, the cross sectional showing the possibility of the internal and the surface discharge. So where the discharge process will be taken into consideration in the transmission line or the cables, that we will observe in this particular figure. So here this will be the epsilon r, okay, which will be my relative permeability. Okay, here also that will be taken into consideration, the relative permeability. Okay, it may happen there must have in the cable, there must have some voids or some cavities. So due to this particular cavities, okay, one second, I have a call. হ্যালো, এই যে টোয়েন্টি ক্লাস নিচ্ছি, আমি একটু পরে ফোন করছি, ঠিক আছে? ক্লাস নিচ্ছি অনলাইনে, ঠিক আছে, আমি একটু পরে ফোন করছি। হুম। So what is happen that this particular weak point, suppose some weak point that will generated on this part. Okay, so this weak point, so due to this particular voids, or due to this particular cavities, some weak point that will generated. So due to this particular weak point, the internal discharge that will taken into consideration, and sometimes it may happen some surface discharge that will take it into consideration. So over the surface of the cables, it may happen some surface discharge. This will be actually the surface discharge. Okay, so this surface discharge that will be taken into consideration. So various kind of discharge that will occur in the in the cable. Okay, so due to the voids, due to the cavities, due to the cut section, right? So this will be the field lines. So if there will be some voids, so some field lines that will be taken into consideration. And this particular part is actually your concentric conductors. This particular part, concentric conductors, and this one is your conductor screen. This particular part is your conductor screen here. Okay, and this particular part is actually called the insulation screen, right? So due to the several kind of wires and several kinds of cavities and several kind of cut section, we can tell that there will be some surface discharge and there must have some internal discharge that will be taken into consideration, right? So in this particular figure, that will be represent a long the cross sectional view of a solid dielectrics power cable that will provide it with a semiconducting, or we can say that the high voltage conductor, as well as we can say that the outer surface of the, we can only say, as this is the cross sectional view, as this one is actually the cross sectional view, okay, or the cut sectional view. So we will only see the outer surface. Okay, we will see the outer surface of the dielectric. So with the development of the modern technology, we can say we can carefully handle or maintaining the extra cleanliness. So inside the cable we need to clean all those things. Otherwise there must have a insertion of some voids or some cavities, or due to this particular moistures, or due to the particular moistures, it may happen inside the cable. There must have some damages, there must have some cut sections. So due to this, due to some modern technology, we can adopt it. So now what we will do, we will clean. That means the proper cleanness, the careful handling, and the proper extra cleanness that will be taken into consideration inside the, as well as the inside the cable, and also the outside the cable. So the presence of the voids and the particles the inside the particular cables, that will affect the internal discharge inside the cables. Okay, so so we have to check whether any such kind of voids or any cuts that will be occurred inside the cables or outside the cables or not. So if any such kind of voids, any such kind of cavities that will be generated inside the cable or outside the cable, it may happen some surface discharge, some corona discharge, or some internal discharge that will be occurred inside the conductor. So that will we have to need to check each and every day, right? So we can say the voids and the cavities, which are most commonly type of weak points of the solid dielectrics. Okay, and it may happen that if we will not check regular basis, so the voids and the cavities are will be increased inside the cables, and that will damage the cables also. And due to the damage of this particular cables, some surface discharge, huge amount of surface discharge, and the internal discharge that will be taken into consideration in the cables. Okay, so we need to check these things. Okay, so this will be the cross sectional view. Okay, the cross sectional view of a particular cable and how the internal and the surface discharge that will be occurred inside the cable. So that thing we will see in this particular figure, right? Now now okay, we have to check now. Now what we will do now in the next. So if we will consider, yes, so here in this particular figure that will show the simulation of the internal partial discharge. Okay, the schematic diagram for the void forming capacitance. Okay, and the equivalent circuit diagram for the measurement. Okay, so this particular circuit will be very important for the partial discharge. Okay, so this will be the schematic representation or the schematic circuit representation having a void forming capacitance, and as well as we are considering the equivalent circuit diagram for the measurement of any such kind of voids or the cavities, right? So these are the two figure. This will be the diagram and this will be the equivalent circuit diagram. So this particular circuit diagram is actually my equivalent diagram for the measurement. Okay, and this one is actually for the void forming capacitance. Okay, diagram for the void forming capacitance. Okay, so if we will put all those capacitor in a series manner. Okay, so we are putting total how many? This one capacitor, two capacitor, three capacitor, and the four capacitor. So C2 dash, C2 dash, C1 and C2 double dash, all those capacitor will be connected in a series, right? And C3 that will be connected in parallel with the all series capacitor. Okay, so that will be the combination of the circuit, right? And from this it will be all those capacitor will be grounded. Okay, so this will be my ground, right? So C1 is actually what? C1 is actually what? So epsilon r1. So due to this particular series capacitor, we have a relative permeability that will be taken into consideration. So C1 is actually the capacitance of a void. Okay, C2 dash and C2 double dash is the capacitance between the voids and the electrodes. C3 is the capacitance of the test object. Okay, CC is actually the coupling capacitor. Okay, and C2 is the equivalent of a C2 dash and C2 double dash that will be connected in series, and Zm is the my measuring instrument impedance, as we are considering the equivalent diagram for the measurement. So this particular Zm is actually my measuring Zm is actually my measuring impedances. Okay, for calculating of the measuring values. Okay, of a voids or the cavities, right? So here we will see that so all those things that will be taken into consideration. So again I will told you the C1 is your the capacitance of void which will be occurred inside the cables. Okay, so here we will see, it will be assumed that a capacitor C1 is formed. This particular capacitor C1, this particular part, this capacitor C1, this will be formed due to the void, right? So due to this particular void within the main dielectric between the two electrodes, between the, so this particular C1, it occurred due to the void, okay? And this C2 dash and C2 double dash is actually nothing but a capacitance between the voids and the electrodes, okay? That is actually shown in this particular figure. And now we have to connect another capacitance, or we can say that the test object, okay, connected parallelly with this particular capacitor, okay? So let the C3 be the total capacitance of the electrode system or the test object, okay? And we can also say, due to this particular capacitor effect, we have considering the relative permeability epsilon R1 and the relative permeability epsilon R2. So the epsilon R1, so the epsilon R1 and epsilon R2 is actually the relative permeability of the void and the main dielectrics, okay? So epsilon R1 is the relative permeability for the void, and this epsilon R2 is the relative permeability for the main dielectrics, for the main dielectrics, right? Okay, so due to this particular effect, my absolute relative permeability that will occur, and here also the relative permeability they occurred due to this particular test object of a capacitor, okay? Okay, so this particular C3 is actually nothing but a capacitor, okay, for the test object. Okay, so the field lines that will be starting and the ending of the void, which will form the two capacitors C2 dash. Okay, so due to this particular effect, what we will see, that the field line starting and the ending of the void, which will form the two capacitance, which will be called as C2 dash and C2 double dash, okay, within the dielectrics. So this one C2 dash and C2 double dash is occurred due to the particular voids, and due to this particular void, some field line that will be generated at the field lines that will be generated in the starting and the ending of the voids, that will form the two capacitance, which will be C2 dash and C2 double dash within the dielectrics. Okay, so the C2 double dash and C2 dash and C2 double dash together in series are combined to form a C2. Okay, so this C2 dash and C2 double dash, that will be the combination that will create the capacitor C2. Okay, so the void capacitor C1, so the void capacitor is my C1. So the void capacitor C1 is the origin of the potential partial breakdown on applying the voltage to the test object supposed to be considered as a UT. Okay, as shown in the figure, this one. Okay, UT is actually nothing but a what the voltage that will applied across the terminal. Okay, so the late we can say that the CC to be the coupling capacitor that will required for what, required for the circuit to the suppress the reflection from the open end during the measurement. Okay, so here we have to take into consideration the equivalent circuit of this, right? So if I draw the equivalent circuit, so we are putting one terminal having a voltage of UT, okay, which will be taken into consideration as a AC. Okay, now we are putting the test object C3 over here, okay, and we are putting the void capacitor C1, okay, and this C2. Okay, C2 will be generated due to the combination of C2 dash, and C2 double dash. So this discharge process that will be taken into consideration in this particular void capacitor. Okay, so this discharge process will be taken into consideration in a void capacitor, and we are connecting the CC, we are connecting this particular coupling capacitor for what we are considering for what requirement we have to connect this. Okay, we have to connect this due to the suppress of the reflection from the open end during the measurement. Because if we will not connect this, so this particular part will be open, so we cannot measure these things. So for measure the values of the discharge process, we have to connect the coupling capacitor. That means this coupling capacitor will be coupled the values of the discharge values of C1 and the void capacitor and the C2, right? And C3, that is actually my test objects, right? So that thing, so this will be my equivalent circuit, and UT is actually nothing but my terminal voltage, AC terminal voltage, that means alternating terminal voltage that will be applied across this particular two terminals. Okay, so from there the current will be flow in this particular loop. Okay, so in this particular loop the current of which is the ICT that will flow across this particular loop or across this particular branches, and ZM we have to take it into consideration for the measuring impedance, for measuring the values of the discharge process. So due to the for measuring the discharge process, discharge value, we have to connect the measuring impedance for measuring the values of the discharge process, right? So that is actually my equivalent circuit for the equivalent circuit diagram for the measurement of a discharge values, which will be generated due to the void capacitor C1, combined values of C2, and as well as the coupling capacitor. Okay, and as also the test object C3, test capacitor it is. Okay. Okay, so up to this is clear. Any question up to this? Any confusion on this particular two figure? If you have any problem, tell me. Anyone? Okay, I think there will be no question. So here now we have to this particular graph that will show, and now according to this particular equivalent circuit configuration, we have to draw, we have to discuss the graph. Okay, graph of a PV voltage, okay, the graph of a partial breakdown voltage, and the pulse current of a void or the cavity in the dielectrics. The cavity and the void that will generated due to this particular operation. So how this particular graph that will be considered? Okay, so that thing we will discuss. Okay, so we will discuss this thing in a next classes. Okay, because this will be the continuation part. So up to this, is there any question? If you have any question, so today we will discuss what are the things. We will discuss the some elementary part of a partial breakdown. That means, what do you mean by the partial breakdown? What will be the definition of the partial breakdown? We will also discuss the internal partial breakdown process, how in the particular cable, the cross sectional cable, how the various partial breakdown process will be taken into consideration for the cross sectional view of the cables. So there will be the different partial breakdown. One is internal breakdown, another one is a surface discharge breakdown that will be occurred due to the certain void or the cavities or the cut section that will generated inside the cables due to the low maintenance. Okay, so that thing we will discuss today. Okay, and also we will discuss some stimulation of the internal partial discharge having a connection of a different capacitors. Okay, so we will also discuss the schematic representation of a void forming capacitance, and we will discuss the equivalent circuit diagram for the measurement of a discharge process. Okay, discharge values, right? Okay, so there's things. So tomorrow, so not tomorrow, Monday we will discuss about the PV voltage and the pulse current. So what will be the graph actually represent this particular graph? Okay, so in this particular axis we will considering the applied voltages and the terminal voltages, and this particular axis we will considering the time. So that thing we will discuss in the Monday. Okay, so these things we will discuss Monday, and as how the practically this particular thing will be occurred, we will observe. So that thing we will discuss in the Monday's classes. Okay, so Monday I take one classes. Okay, so then I will discuss these things. Okay, is it clear? Any question? Any question till now? I think there is a no question. Okay, so then we will stop the session for today. We will discuss the more thing in a Monday session. Okay, so we will stop my sharing.